Welcome back to 88.7 WNHU West Haven. Today we have a music producer for a bunch of shows, CBS, Fox, Nickelodeon, you name it, he's been on it. Adam Small is joining us today. How are you today?
Oh, thanks for having me. I'm doing good.
How was the trip coming in?
It was pretty good, for New York. I'm a transplanted New Yorker, and no traffic is kind of a blessing. And when that happens, you just it makes you feel good all over.
So you drove up here or you took the train?
I drove up. My folks still live in Jersey, so, they have to get your folk time in. And then there was a car there, and, I stole it and, drove up here. There should be an APB out.
What does it take to get into this industry?
It's kind of a hard question to answer quickly, but you have to be good at what you do. That's the first thing. And then after that, there's a wide variety of things you have to accomplish because it's very competitive. So being a competitive field, it's not enough to be talented. And that's what people rely on too much. If you're talented, it's the same with sports. There's a lot of people that are talented that are, they just screw up all the time off the field and they end up destroying their careers. Not that happens in music, not as much as you just have to be a derelict, but you have to really push really hard. You have to stay ahead of the trends, be able to market yourself. Remember, you're a freelancer, and really understand that it's not always the most talented person that gets the gig. There's a lot of factors involved, and when you're in the pond, everybody is talented.
So would you say it's more the harder workers that get into the industry or get far in the industry rather than the people that actually have the skill to get into it?
Everyone has the skill already, so it's kind of like in order to get to a certain point, you have to have skill. But then once you get to that point, the people that really rise to the top are the people that have a lot of things together and are on time, not flaky. There's a million things, but there's also a game of chance. You see people like Bieber or cats like that get discovered. It's the American Idol dream, like winning a contest or getting discovered by Usher or something like that. And that does happen, but that's a small percentage of music industry success. Not only that, but you can set yourself up for those quote unquote lucky, luck or whatever, quote unquote luck. By putting yourself out there. For instance, if you have a big YouTube presence or if you have a big social media presence, it's lucky maybe if you get discovered, but you sure did a lot to help that, to facilitate that.
What would you say is your favorite project, or who was your favorite person to work with?
Oh, wow. I don't know. I played with Bernie Worrell for a little bit from Parliament Funkadelic, if any of you know that. I know I feel old, but I feel like everyone knows that stuff, right? So, they did like Flashlight and, Tear the Roof Off the Mother, all that stuff. Anyway, that was a great gig. Just because he's a legend. He's like one of the first guys that ever did that style, and he's amazing. But I've worked with a lot of people, and I've done a lot of projects that were great. I had music in this movie, Another Earth, which was a really cool sci-fi movie. So I've had a lot of things I was proud of, but most importantly, it's just nice to be a full-time musician and have regular work, and it's not a horrible job.
What do you do to help people? Like when you're working, what do you do to help the people?
If I'm working as a consultant, then I can do a lot of different things to help people. Like usually I just kind of I Google them, which is unfortunately your interview nowadays. Everyone thinks of your one page or your personal profile and all this stuff as a resume like it used to be, but your resume is Googling now. I mean, if you Google somebody and they're like, someone says, "Hey, I'm a musician," if you look up Adam Small music, you're gonna find me. You're gonna find everything I want you to find, and that's the biggest thing that I usually try to help people with at first is just that you have to control what's out there when someone Googles you. If you find stuff that you didn't like if you're doing a gig and someone's videotaping you with their phone and you thought you sounded like crap on the gig. Mm-hmm. You probably don't want that to be there, but you can't really tell someone to take it off all the time. I mean, I guess you can sometimes, but so you have to flood with better content, with the stuff you want people to find, and there's a lot of ways to do that. I also help people with licensing because I've done a lot of licensing for shows. I've had music on a ton of like some movies, some reality shows, documentaries. And that's a process. That's like a very learned process about how to get in touch with the right people, how to pitch your music, how to not anger people. Like, it's a wild vibe. I also help people with basic networking, music networking. I mean, it's very much like being a carpenter that's not in the union, or hell, you could be anything. A real estate agent. I mean, anything that involves you having to go out there and advertise yourself. I can go on for hours, so I'll stop myself in a second.
Yeah, you can talk as much as you want. There's no time limit.
But the point is, essentially, you get out of school, and if you're a doctor, right, if you have a medical degree, you know that you have to intern at a hospital or another area, and then eventually you'll be a doctor, and you'll probably get hired somewhere because you're a doctor, right? Or if you're a lawyer, you still have to get a job, but once you have a job, it's like at a firm, or hopefully, or something like that. There's not a lot of freelance doctors, I guess is what I'm trying to say. But as a musician, you get out of school and there's no list, people want to pretend like there's a list, and there's companies that try to scam you, and they say, hey, we have lists, pay us $20 a month, we got this, total bull. So essentially, you have to make your own gigs. Your friends hire you. Your reputation hires you. And, you have to watch out for a lot of those scams. A lot of those people that are offering a service that, like, with job listings and blah, blah, blah. It's like, hey, I've been doing this for 20 years full time, I mean, I never had to look at a list to get people to play my gigs. Or when I hire people, I know people. Or I ask someone I respect. I say, hey, I don't know a singer that can sing in Spanish that can hit soprano notes, and within 2 phone calls I can find that person. So it's really just about it's basic people skills, and people have to remember that. It's like, when you think you're great, and you're top dog in your town or your school, that doesn't mean jack, like, in the big picture. If you move to New York City or Los Angeles, where I originally was in New York City and then now I'm in Los Angeles, they're very similar and super competitive. And it's really like, you hire your boys, your girls, and that's what it is. That's my long answer, obviously.
So if there's anyone listening, don't do the fake industries.
Exactly.
Don't do that fake $20 stuff. It's not going to help. What would you say are some good traits?
Good traits? Like as a musician to have?
Yeah, good traits to really get into the industry and really make it into the industry.
You have to kind of be insane, so to be a musician in the first place, or lack what is the word? Sanity, right? But that just goes with what I just said. But essentially, you have to really want to do it, and it's not just really wanting to do it. Like when I first started, and I can speak for myself and all my musician friends that I've talked to about this particular thing, but I didn't really have a choice. I feel like I feel like maybe there's certain upbringings where maybe your father or your mother, everyone's a dermatologist or everyone's a doc or something, and you almost like have to be in the family business. Mm-hmm. But a lot of the times it's when music takes over, a lot of people, including myself, I didn't ever felt like I had a choice, because I always felt if I did something else, I'd regret not following through. I'd say, hey, what would I have been able to do if I did this? If I became a psychologist, if I became something else that it was interesting to me. Because my grades were good randomly, right, as a musician. But so I think that I didn't have a choice, and I think that that's a good trait to have, is that you need to do it, and you will be depressed if you don't try. I think that that's a strange trait to have, but I know that all musicians that really go for it need that, because it's hard, and the first few years is real hard, and you get your breaks, but there's always rejection. I mean, a good trait to have, if you want to talk about that, is being able to deal with rejection on a very surface level. Okay, so being able to say, hey, it's his business. They just didn't I wasn't right for this, whatever, and just move on. You have to be able to brush stuff like that off. You have to be able to budget your money, because you're a freelancer, so you're not getting a weekly salary all the time unless you're on retainer, or you're, even when I get royalties for shows, like, I don't know how much that's going to be until it happens. Like, it could be great, it could be okay, but I can kind of judge it by how many placements I have, but you don't know an exact number. So you have to hold on. You have to know how to budget your money. You have to know how to not freak out when when it looks bad, because somehow you have to have faith that it's going to pull through. And then it's kind of like a mental toughness, to actually follow through with it. And that's just besides being talented and all that, because it is a rite of passage. You have to. It's almost like being hazed, as a musician. It's tough, and once people get to know you, if you do a good job, it works. Like my friend Ruslan Sirota, who I filmed a masterclass with. He plays with Josh Groban now. He played with Seal. He played with Stanley Clark and Stuart Copeland. Stuart Copeland from The Police, and all these big names. But he just came from Berklee College of Music and was playing weddings. You know what I mean? And his whole theory was, and this is what he said on the video, which I thought was really, really super cool. He said, you know what? I always thought, and what I always tell people, it's that take every gig, no matter what it is, as serious as it could be. If it's and this goes for much more than music. For instance, what you're doing, you're not, sitting here slacking off. It might be college radio, but if you want to go there in the future, you better take it seriously. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter what you're doing. You take it seriously, because what happened was his wedding gig turned into someone from Brian McKnight's band seeing him play, and then he got that. And then when he went to L.A., he realized that all the experience that he got from this wedding gig, even just learning all these songs and programming sounds, he got the Seal gig right away, and he was making good money on the road with Seal, doing all this stuff. So it's the same with what you're doing. It's the same with what anyone's doing. If you have a small sample size of what you've done and you're taking it seriously, you have a chance that someone's going to see you. And you should never have that day where you can never have a bad day. You can be off. That happens, I mean, I'm off all the time, right now. No, I'm just kidding. But, essentially you have to fight through it, and you have to just be professional, And I think that that's an important thing for any job in any generation.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us. You're listening to 88.7 WNHU West Haven. We'll be back.